Hello. Ah. Hope everyone's doing well. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I can either play on my multiplayer server, but I'm still kind of collecting resources and stuff, so it's not like I can go full on into Magic. I could mod, right? I can add to the mod. I have no idea what I want to work on right now. I got to thinking of buffing the mage, the Rust Mage class a little bit. Not sure what something like that is going to look like. So, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I have like rituals and stuff that I want to make, but I want to take a break from big brain things. Kind of, you know, now that I'm playing it, you know what? We can do a couple things. We'll start off with modding, and we will go into playing, because I noticed in the beginning, I think I will allow tier 1 mages get double experience from transmutation up to a certain point, up to a certain max level, you know, max mana level. So I think once you get up to 25 max mana, I can set it back to normal, but it takes so many casts of transmutation. Multiple mage classes? I don't think so, Hexaden. Not now. I don't think I'm ever gonna have multiple. Well, I can't say that. Who knows? I may just get some kind of whimsy to do it. But as of now, Rust Mage is gonna be the only thing. You will be able to attune to an element, and kind of pick a subclass with Rust Mage. So the way I see it, you're going to have to wait till a Temporal Storm hits, and then you will build the structure. It's going to be like an Oculus kind of structure, and you're going to put the crystals all around it, and it will trigger a portal, and then you walk into it to imbue yourself, to attune yourself to that particular element. So that's how that is going to go. But I was looking here. We can get on here. F. Am I dropping frames? I don't see anything. Or are you just upset that there's no multiple classes? And back. Ah, I got you. Yeah, it didn't say I was dropping any frames or anything. I don't know. Twitch being Twitch. Who knows? We do have a snowstorm going on here, but it's just about over. But yeah, if I add more than one class, then it comes down to like balancing, right? I don't have it in me to do that. We'll go into the multiplayer server. I think I want to add some patches too for some of the more popular mods that adds an entity, just so they have elemental weaknesses and resistances. And drifters everywhere here. That's right. I remember what I did here. I was testing some things. This world needs to go. So let's let's clean that up. Delete. Alright, let's create a new world. Let's make it a creative world. You know what, before I do that, force quit. Hold on. I have to delete some mods here I was testing. Boop, boop. Reload. Yeah, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I should live stream. I don't know what I'm going to do. Because if I look at classes, I mean, some of these other classes, they feel pretty good. And then I was looking at, like, some of the mods where it, like, you know, does more things with the classes. You know, and then we look at, like, Rust Mage, right? So you only have Enlightenment, and then you have Between Worlds. And those are, like, your only 2 perks. And then you have Fractured, which decreases melee and health, right? So I think Fractured and Rust Touch are perfect. You know, I think they fit the theme really well. I think like Between Worlds is good, and so is Enlightenment, but I feel like there should be something else there. I was thinking of maybe adding a passive, either like a mana cost reduction in spells, like by a small percent, or maybe the ability every once in a while to not maybe like a spell haste for like casting spells. You can do it just innately a little faster. Increase poison damage, increase drops from drifters. Cannot craft iron. It just rusts as you touch it. Any metalworking rots at your touch. Good luck going to the bathroom. Increasing the drop from drifters. I don't really want to increase like the drop of things. See, I've been thinking about this because I'm like, I would like to add more perks to being a Rust Mage, but I want it to, you know, it's that balance, right? I want it to be kind of like something magic related, but I don't want it to be so overpowered where you're like, well, I have to be a Rust Mage, you know? If I want to cast spells. Cheaper Magecraft recipes. I was considering that. Like maybe they have some of the core recipes be a little cheaper. Maybe for like repairing grimoires or something. What are my stats even? Let's take a look at some armor. Right, because the staff gives you spell haste. But I mean, look at that. Like the Archmage staff is already an 80% increase to your cast speed. That's freaking ridiculous. And armor gives your mana cost. It gives maximum mana. See, I can't add on to maximum mana because that's going to throw everything out of balance, right? Like you'll be able to get tier 2 faster if I increase max mana by too much. And then for like mana cost, that's the only thing I was thinking of where it could still be worth it, because maybe I could just add like a minus 10% mana cost. You know, for like a, if you're an art, or you know, if you're a Rust Mage casting a spell. And you can craft focuses as a Rust Mage, right? Which is pretty important. Increase quality of spells created. Yeah, see there, but some of that stuff, like something like that, you kind of, it becomes really overpowered. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be a good perk, but I don't want it to be like, geez, man, if you want to be a caster at all, you have to be a Rust Mage. You know, I did want to take this apart as well. I don't like the magic bracelets. I don't like the fact that they give you like the mana regen. I want to convert that into like another thing. And then maybe free up the bracelets to like maybe, I don't know, do something with like a cantrip or something. Okay, first thing, let's increase the... Oh, and I also want to make a new spell that's gonna be like dig. So you'll be able to cast the spell to, you know, like mine. Plus mining speed, affinity to metals, plus damage to mechanicals. I mean, that would be more like if you're lightning, right? If you attune to like lightning, you know, the lightning element. You do actually, all you have to do is put on electric focus, electricity focus, and you do like double damage to locust and mechanical, anything mechanical. Which could be a lot, like with the Rust Orb spell. That can be a really hard-hitting spell. Alright, let me increase the amount of experience you get. We'll start off with that. That's something I definitely know I want to do for balance sake. You know what I'm thinking I could do? This may actually be easier than I thought. Let me... Ooh, less food usage. Mages don't eat. That'd be a pretty good perk, right? Yeah, I kind of like that. Here, let's log out. Always raining in every world I go into. Pretty much there's rain. Let's see what something like that looks like. Because there's definitely like the opposite of that. So 50% durability. Yeah, cause see, like Ravenous, like I could just do a reverse for hunger rate. Does any spell use ranged accuracy or damage? Well, Rust Orb does damage. As for ranged accuracy, no. Wherever you look is where it goes. Which is funny because that alone actually decreases your accuracy. It's really weird. So I guess I can, I don't know. You know what I'm gonna do while I'm brainstorming about it? I'm gonna shut down. We're gonna go to Vintage Store. We're gonna pull up the real game. I'm gonna just hop in the server and play a little bit. It's weird. I'm feeling, because I had to push out a couple updates to fix some crashes and get rituals working and everything. I kind of burned myself out over the weekend. And I'm like, I just don't want to mod right now. So I'm gonna hop on my private server here. There we go. God damn it. Oh, man. Oh, actually, do we have any spears? If I could kill these monsters, that would be great. I don't think I can kill them right now. Excuse me. Can you get out of my way? Jeez, man. I'm just trying to harvest my crops here. I mean, bonuses and penalties to damage from classes. Well, I have, I do have a negative, like your melee attack as a Rust Mage is decreased. Ah, no! Get away! Damn, that thing is fast. Maybe I can lure it away. Come on. Alright. Maybe that's good. Does any spells do more damage or have more accuracy? Your class has bonuses or penalties? Well, it's not really... Again, there's no real accuracy. It's your accuracy. That's your spell accuracy. As for damage for spells, no. There's nothing that increases your damage for spells. Alright, we're gonna... Alright, I was asking. It could go either way, yeah. The giant bell saw blade is scary. Yeah, there's a lot of neat monsters here. Some people are nailing these mods. I feel kind of unmotivated to do things right now. You know, we're gonna go back to programming. I'm like, I don't have any spears. I'm in that phase where it's like I just spent a lot of resources and I'm gonna have to go out and collect a bunch of things. I also, no one else is playing on the server, so like, I don't know, I was gonna go out with Oats, maybe tag team some, I don't know, tag team some things. Alright, I've got to work on something. I could work on rituals again, since I can't seem to decide on ways to increase the class bonus. I mean, reduced mana cost would be pretty good, I think. I don't know. I feel I'm not getting a lot of feedback these days, so I'm kind of running dry on ideas. It's like the perfect storm. Let me look at some things here. Man, I feel so unmotivated right now. So unmotivated. Right, because we see things like this. You know, we got this class mod here, and I feel like it does pretty well. You know, we got some severe penalties, right, for like the blacksmith, but tired is real, especially after holiday excess, right? Hydrate? That I will, sir. Not only that, my man, not even just the holidays. Like, I was sick at my birthday, and then right around Christmas, you know, the Christmas rush, and then that next week sick again, and then New Year's, and then like right back into work, and then, you know, it's like make up and, you know, get up and go. And now I'm, you know, and then the mod, right? You know, I had a bunch of quick updates that I kind of pushed out to fix some things. And I'm just sitting here kind of like burnt out now. I'm like, there are things of course that I want to add, but a lot of those things are big things, and I don't feel like taking on like a big system. Like, I want to wait to see if anyone finds any more crashes, and then, you know, so I just want to, like, you know, make what's already there better, right? Add on to things. So if we go into let's see, patches, right? Character class. So we have Enlightenment, Between Worlds, Fractured, and Rust Touch. I just can't think of anything else that would be like a bonus for, like, the temporal stability decrease is actually pretty good. Like, it's a lot better than a lot of people. Like, I was thinking people were gonna be up in arms about it, because, like, especially like the higher level you get, the more you benefit from it. It's pretty neat. Like, I could sit there and, like, as a Rust mage, you know, I can get like a lot of mana back, but someone else is gonna just go temporarily unstable before they get, like, you know, as much mana as I can get, which means more spells, right? Although, who knows? Maybe I'm just trying to force something. That's why it doesn't feel right. Maybe Rust Mage is all right. Maybe. I guess I could, you know, we could do some ritual stuff. Alright, we'll do ritual stuff. I do have some more to make. I need to do the Ritual of Destruction. You know what? Let's go into a world, because I think I may want to change rituals. The food thing makes sense. That does make sense, actually. You know what? I can add that as a perk. We'll see how it feels. So I'm going to copy and paste. What should I call it? Because I am also trying to keep everything on theme, right? Between worlds, because of the temporal instability. Enlightenment. Use one of the existing traits. Well, yeah, I'm going to, but I want to name it my own thing. Because I'm going to put a custom, because there's like 30% and I think there's a 20%. Like, and it's a lot easier. Like, I have to make things like this, like, my own. Because I'm getting burned from other people's mods that just do a blanket statement rewrite, and then my mod crashes because I'm trying to use something like Fragile, and another mod someone's using takes over Fragile, and it doesn't exist in that same form. Yeah, I was getting crashes, so now I make my own. Like, even if it's the same thing, I'm just making my own so it doesn't interfere with what other people are messing up. Which is sad, right? Like, I shouldn't be, I shouldn't have to do something like that. But here we are. This is where we are. So this trait is going to make it to where you eat less. Oh my god, wait, I have chat AI. Like, come on, chat GPT, get to work. Hold on. Let me pull it up here. Open AI, baby. That's how I got the name of the my Minecraft server. Oats and I kind of use it as a test bed. I think I've been using it a lot more as a test bed recently. All right, so I need to name a trait that a magic class would have that sounds magical. This would make the mage not need to eat as much. Can I have a list? I hate when you do things like that. It gives you like one, and it's a bad one. It's like, give me more. Eldritch sustaining. Bellborn nourishment. Kind of like subsistence. Essence fueled satiety. Man, this always gets me. Is frugal used? I don't know. I don't know if frugal is used. Spellborn. Let's do more. Like, probably one of these will come up and I'll be like, that's it. Happens a lot. Divine sustaining. Catalytic. No. Mystifying nourishment. Something maybe rusty themed. Eldritch nourishment. Mana fed vitality. Either way, all right. So I'm just going to. I'll think of the name more, but I guess I'll just make the trait and then backfill later. All right, let's look at Blackguard. File Explorer. Alright, survival, config, character classes. Oh, wait, actually, I want traits instead. And we are gonna want something to do with mining speed, health, durability, hunger rate. That's what it's called. Ah, this is the ravenous hunger rate, so I need to make this a negative to have it be a perk. Alright, so we'll pop in hunger rate. Negative 15. A 15% decrease in your hunger. I think that would be a pretty fair thing. Yeah, I don't think that would be that bad at all. We are gonna have to make sure that it is a positive trait. Instead of rust touched, it can be I could try and link it to, you know, use like the word ethereal in there. Ethereal nourishment or something. Mana fed. mana fed, right? Man. Essence fueled, baby. I see. All these words are so long. More. How about with Eldritch themes? Let's see. Voidborn, Abyssal, Satiety, Essence feeding. It's like some of these are so close because it's like it sounds good, but I can't use anything like spectral, right? I can't use anything where it's like cursed because it's a benefit. Rust fed. I was thinking mana fed. You know, for now it's gonna be mana fed. Now you eat rust. That's why you need less food. I thought it'd be cool to tie it into the essence system, like Nexus. You're not a rust monster. You're a rust mage. Turn into a rust monster. You know, instead of mana, yeah, essence fed. Because the idea, the lore that I'm building here is that, you know, with the Rust world, when the portals open up, you can get rift blooms. When you get stable rift blooms that can exist in the world without being tethered to a rift, that rift bloom will eventually grow. And then if you let it grow further, the plant gets to be a rusty rift bloom. And the idea is that the particles from, you know, the temporal disturbances, right, end up coating the outside. So when you harvest it with a knife, you can get the fibers from the physical plant and you get the rusty dust. Or you can just cast transmutation, which would preserve the plant and then just kind of scrape off the rusty dust and you only get the rusty dust. And I also, in that same vein, the whole essence system where you're storing this magical power, right? So it's like I'm trying to portray, right, like the fact that there's like magic in the world itself in the form of, you know, rust, right? This rust energy. So something like essence fed would make sense because, you know, maybe you just gain passive nourishment, right? Or at least it nourishes you enough to where you don't need to eat as much. Because like the other things that I have in the game, you know, you can benefit from, you know what I mean? Like it kind of fits, you know, having it be like essence fed. I like it. Let's put it to bed. Hunger rate minus 25%. Everyone would want to be it at that point. There we go. Essence fed. That's what it's going to be called. All right, and I have to go up to here. Copy, paste. This is going to be called... Copy. Boop and boop. So between worlds, this is going to be essence fed. This is going to be essence fed. And I believe I also have to do the character attribute as well, because that's not gonna translate because it's a custom value. So I believe I have to do something like attribute hunger rate minus shoot, what was it? Minus 0.15. There we go. I think that's what it's gonna have to be. Or actually with this, I would do it because at that point it's a 15%, right? Minus 15% hunger rate. And I have to put a double negative there. All right, let's see what it looks like. I have a 6 nutrition bar for metals. Jeez, man, Hexanon. It's not the kind of feedback that helps. I am not turning players into rust monsters. Do you know how much work that would be? You know how many people would be like, I didn't realize I could eat, you know, the metal I was holding, my ingots. I didn't realize. I accidentally ate that steel bar. Oh, I think I found a bug. My iron that I was holding is gone, but I'm now suddenly full. Oh, I forgot to add it. I forgot to add it to the class. Could you imagine? I'd be getting bombarded with people. Like, sir, I think I found a problem. You may want to address this. Alright, character class patch. So I'm gonna put it right after this here. Between worlds. And here we go. Essence fed. Build. I should make an item that allows you to change your class freely. Like a really expensive item, but allows you to just fully, you know, change not what you're wearing, right? But your, you know, your class as a core. Burp, burp, burp. There we go. Essence fed. Nice 15% hunger rate. I like that. I like that. I like seeing more green there. Yeah, that's right. Making focuses. I wonder if Eldrathnium ingots are too expensive. I've been kind of questioning that a little bit. you know, if I should make it to where like Eldrathium, maybe you get like, it's not an Eldrathium ingot anymore, right? Like maybe it's like an Eldrathium nugget, right? So maybe you could start off with like a copper ingot, and then when you craft the recipe, now it's not an ingot anymore, it is an Eldrathium, you know, like nugget, like native copper or something. And then you would get a couple of those. See, my problem is, like, now that I started from scratch, I see that in the very beginning, you don't really have a lot of resources, right? Like, I'm trying to unlock magic, but, I mean, we don't, you know, Oats and I don't even have an anvil yet. So, wasting a whole Eldrathium ingot to make a Nexus is kind of, you know what I mean? It's a hard pill to swallow right now. But I'm pretty sure something like that would resolve itself, like, if I was further along, right? Like, once I start really producing metal, I could make the Mana Forge. You know what we could also work on? I wanted to, you know what? Let's work on the utility blocks. I want more utility blocks. Let's stop the rain. Jesus, always freaking raining. Always. So my thought with utility blocks, like, let's start with the magic ward. And I'll just get a bunch of rusty dust. So I don't have magic unlocked, right? But I can turn this on. All right, so this is kind of what it is. I was thinking what you could do is like attach this, right? Like if this is touching any of the sides, you know, so you could do something like this to power it, you know, and then it would like complete, you know, so when you turn it on, it would see this and it would increase the volume, you know, of your barrier and make it like wider, bigger, better, whatever. Think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm thinking, let me build in a block here. Here. So right, this is the current, you know, like area. So what if it's something like this, right? So like one tier 2, a little more space. Whoops. Oops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And of course, your block would be like here. Whoops. Just trying to visualize, like, if it's even a good idea. So what you could do, right? Maybe if it's by itself, so I can have one more. Something like that. So if you don't have Mana Stone near it, it defaults to just being a single block, right? Maybe it can still go 3 high. Maybe I can have it to where it does, you know what? Let's make a couple scenarios here, right? So this one, it would be 3 high. So you would need like a bunch of these kind of in a row. And then transmutation's an AoE, right? But still, you know, like you could at least block things off. And then you pop one of these bad boys underneath. It's active right now. So even if you admin mode break it, it will regenerate. But, you know, then it becomes a 3x3. Then maybe it could be potentially like a 5x5. Although, does it really need to go that much higher? Right? And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's going to be some confused admins. For what? What, for how this works? I think you got to give people more credit. Not everyone's a complete dummy. And part of the fun of the magic stuff is to figure out how things work. Like, for instance, the way this would work, this would be the unmitigated range, right? Even if you... Yeah, well, yeah, even if you admin break it, yeah, so, like, doing that, it goes away. You break the bottom block, and the whole thing goes away. If someone can't figure that out, the school system may have failed them. Or they need to, maybe they're overworked or something, and they just need to take a break and come back to it. You know what I mean? Like this, I don't think it's that complex. And if someone complains and asks, then I'll tell them, like, yeah, move the ward block. You know, as simple as that. They didn't cover rust magic at my school. Well, hopefully they covered other things that will help you to deduce how a mod is working. If I do something like this and it comes back, I'm like, oh, because I'm still looking at it and I see question marks up top, right? Like, oh, look at that, it's coming back. Wait, that's the magic ward. They had to have set this up, right? You know, I think they're fine. My thing here is they need to try turning off particles just in case. What do you mean? Why would I want to turn off the particles? If the magic block is there, there needs to be particles. Not turning off particles. It's going to confuse people more. That's the opposite direction. See, I'm not sure how tall I really want something, because the benefit of this right here is the fact that if you have... You know, if you have like a big gate, right? Like something like this. Whatever, we'll do something like this. Oop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's good enough. Right, you have a big front gate. What you can do is you can get one of the powerful things, right? So I can get... like the best, right? I'm a tier 4 mage. I can do something like this, pop that down, and then when I turn it on, it literally just fills the space. Right, so all this would be the magic barrier block. It wouldn't extend past here, even though it could. Like, it could go one more out. Like, it could probably go out to here. It doesn't do that. It would just fill this space, you know? And I think that would be a really neat block. And the reason why I want to make it to where you have to have like a runestone touching somewhere to like make it powerful is so that I can have, you know, like entry-level people, like tier 1 people can use a magic ward. And not even that, like if you know someone who's a mage, right? Like they can, you know, like... you could get the ingredients, right? You can make one of these, and then you could just use Rusty Dust to turn it on. You don't have to cast Transmutation, even though you can. I can cast Transmutation on this because, like, my spell projectile... boop. Oh, I don't have magic unlocked. Let me unlock magic. Boop. There we go. No spell selected. There we go. See, so I can activate this, or if I want to, I can just turn it off and the whole thing goes away. I mean, visual to see if there's anything at all. If you used low graphics. I don't... Honestly, I don't care. Like, I don't want to sound mean, but at this point in time, if you're running on a potato computer, there's going to be a lot of issues, right? Like, I have to assume that, you know, first of all, if there are no particles, you still see the blue outline, no matter what your graphic settings are. That's why I made a blue outline. You know, that's kind of, again, mana colored. So if you don't see any particles at all, and you should be used to it, if you're running a flat, you know, tire computer, you're not going to see any particles from becoming a rust mage, right? Anytime you cast a spell, all those particles are going to be gone. So you will see, like, you'll still see the question marks, and you'll still see the fact that there is a block there that you may not be able to pass through, right? And at that point, you would have activated it, so as long as you got memory, right, you'll know, like, oh, this happened, right? Like, all this happened when I had that. Like, I'm not worried about that at all. That's not what I'm worried about here is how I can increase the potency of this to make this a good block to use, even if you're a tier 1 over here. And you can't, you can't do much of anything. Another prejudice against memory impaired. You know it. At some point, you gotta take a dump on the pot or get off, right? No, but I'm not, maybe if I was getting, like, if this was a paid job, right? Sure. But I don't get anything from this besides feedback of people telling me how things should work a lot of times. You should be able to move and have mega spells right when you unlock it. Well, no. That's not happening. So I think I like this better. Whoops. Where it just, it's just a big space, and then you can use it to, if you want to just have it unmitigated, right? Like, it just becomes this big thing. If you want to use it to, like, repair things, there you go. I think that's going to be a pretty cool block. And it's nice too, because the magic ward, in the first version of this, you had to, like, have a bunch of magic wards, like, side by side like this. That'd be expensive. Casting transmutation, it was too much of a resource sink. But having something like this, I think, is going to be a lot better. There, I'm going to continue. So this is what we're going to do. I am going to implement this now. I could even make it to where it becomes more efficient, because you can store up to 48 hours, I believe. So what I'll probably do is have it to where, this can hold up to, like, 1 day, right? So you use Rusty Dust and it's 1 day capped. And then 2 days, 3 days, and then 4 in-game days, right? Per 1 Rusty Dust. Oh, well, no, not per 1 Rusty Dust. 1 Rusty Dust will give you 24 hours. But it could store up to 4. Should start with level 0 spell that costs no mana. Just spews particles. Why? Why would I do that? Give me a good reason why. Alright, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna save everything that I just built. We got some. All right, we got something to do. Hooray! I'm gonna close out of all of the windows here, because I'm going to need only a couple things up. I'm gonna take a look at the magic ward. I don't think I need to do anything with my utility block itself in the JSON. You know what? I know for a fact we don't need to do anything. All of the work is going to occur in the block itself and the block entity. And I'm also going to have to look at the ritual altar as well, because I'm going to be using the system for the ritual altar. It's fun. You can annoy people with it. You know what? You should make a mod that does that. I think that would be a great mod for you to make. Be revolutionary. So I need to look at the current runestone. I should say current attached runestone. So if we go a little further down under initialize, I don't think I need to initialize anything. You know, I will have to initialize a ticker, I believe. So I'll have it do like a ticker every 1 second. So we have an on infusion tick already. I'm going to generate another 1 second ticker. Now I'm just going to call it on game tick. Most downloaded mod. There you go. The most downloaded mod. People are going to be interviewing you. You'll be like, you know what? I said this was a great idea and no one wanted to listen and make it. So I did it. Now I won a Nobel Prize and married a supermodel. I'm living the dream. Maybe they should have listened to me next time. I'm brimming with excellent ideas. All right, so I think I have a majority of what I need in here. Let's start with this. So check for runestone block. So I should say check for attached runestone block. So I'm thinking for this block. Should I make it to where you have to set this block on top of a stone? You know, on top of runestone? Or should I make it to where you could set it on, like, you know, the left, right? Actually, that wouldn't be too good to do. I think it needs to sit on top. Like, you dig a hole, put it down, and then you set it on top, and it gets power that way. I could mess with the orientations. Let's go back in the world. Oh wait, I can't until I fix all the issues here. Okay. So let me do this. Turn attached runestone. Anything that's this, turn it into that. Boop. 23. There we go. It's usable. Hooray. All right, let's hop back into the world. Because I was just thinking about it, because I have the elevator as well. I'm not sure if I should account for being able to place something on the ceiling and then having an invert. You know, so kind of like how I have my crystals. So, like, you could set it there, right? Like, on top of, you know, like, you see, it is unstable, so it would fall. But, you know, something like that, right? And then it would just do it in reverse. Like, I could do something like that. I don't know if that's even necessary, the way this works. Now, for the elevator, that would be a different story. You know what? Let's pull up the elevator. Because, like, this is it right now. It's a solid block. Although I could turn it into a thin block. And then you would use the elevator. So right now you have to, like, dig a hole already. Let's turn this on. Right. And then it just creates your stream up, and then you can hop in and fly up. So, I don't know. I think I may have to convert this. Because I do like the idea of, like, placing it down, right? And then it just kind of, you know, becomes whatever it is. I like this idea here. Boop. All right. So I think I'm going to only do a check for the bottom. Like, you have to place this on top of the block for it to do what it needs to do. All right, let's go back in. Now we can program this a little different. So point 1, I can get rid of all these other points. All I'm going to look for is the block underneath it. -1. The count runestone tier 1, we'll just set that at 0. Actually, we're going to have to check if it's tier 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'm going to preserve that, because I may end up making it to where you need other things for it, and then make it better. But for this first point, I'm going to delete that, right? So I'm going to get the block from this point. I'm going to see if it's a celestial block. And then if it is a celestial block, I'm going to make sure that it's a runestone block. Means I can get rid of all of that. If it's greater than or equal to 1, that's your potency. If this equals 0, then we're gonna change the, have it be the potency. Current attached runestone. You know what? I need to make this current attached runestone tier. Current attached runestone tier. That would make more sense. 25. All right, now we're going to do the superior check. Get rid of all of that. If you see at least one of these blocks, then you're going to do the same thing. Greater, this is going to be tier 2. Boop. And again, if you see one of those blocks, you're good. And then this is going to be the tier 1 version. Oop. And if you see one of those blocks, then you are, of course, good to go. So this is all of the checks here that we'll need to look the block underneath to make sure that it is indeed a runestone. I am creating a new magic ward block that's going to... I'm not right now, no. I love you too. Do you want to play? Yeah, you would have to, like, set things up and install the game, and you got to get your account information too. Yeah, you get all that, yeah. We can play. Okay. Love you. we may be playing. Maybe we're playing. All right, so I'm gonna undo all of this here. So first thing we're gonna have to run is this method. Boop. Right, first thing we're going to run is this method. Every second, we're just going to do a check, right? If nothing changes, then it doesn't really run a lot of code. But if it does detect something, then that's what, that's what's going to change here. So if we see that this is tier 1, I need to change a lot of this here. So if this is tier 4, you know what? I need to comment all this out. None of this is going to work for what I want to do. There we go. I think I need to make another version of this, the barrier placement. Or at least increase the potency of the barrier placement. So I can get world, I can get position. Before all of that, I'm going to want to look for an int, and I can call this attached runestone tier. I'm going to get the orientation. Do do I need the orientation? Am I even using it? I don't think I'm even using it right now. Yeah, just as I thought, I'm not using orientation. So run barrier placement. I'm going to say if attached runestone tier equals 0. Yeah, I could do it that way, or I could just do it this way. I'll do it this way. So if you don't have the runestone in place, then it's not going to place any of the barriers. Which also will mean if you end up breaking the runestone underneath, your barrier's going to shut off. Like, it's not going to do anything. Like, your whole ward block is going to shut off. And it will erase all the barriers that it had put up. I'm going to leave this code in because I may end up having to do something with orientation. So portal minimum, portal maximum. So this is going to be pretty much the tier 1 version. So I need to put in some if statements. So I have to say if this equals 2, 3, and 4 are what I'm going to have to account for. 2, 3, and 4. Paste, paste, and paste. You know, for maybe just for the sake of having everything together, I will be a little redundant and I will make a 1 just in case, because if I add this in now, it'll be redundant code unless I decide to give you like a little 1 by 2 barrier by default. So I'm going to add this, even though it's a duplicate here. And now I'm going to expand this, right? So tier 2, this would be -2, +2, and then this would be a 3. So this would be a 3, a 3, and a 4, and this would be a 4, a 4, and a 5. Right? 3, 4, 5. So that would be 3. Yeah, I think that's what I would want. You know what? We'll do it this way. I may have to increase these numbers quite a bit. There we go. Now we have our east and west orientations. Cut. Paste. 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 And paste. So that's fine. This would be a 2, a 2, and a 3. 3, 3, 4. 4. Oops. 4, 4, and 5. So that should at least give us the proper outline. I do replace tall grass, or any kind of grass, when you put down a barrier block, because if not, it makes holes in the barrier block. Yeah, I think that's everything that I want to do there. So for the removal, I am going to be aggressive with the removal. I'm going to go right 4, 4, and 5. 4, 4, 5. 4, 4, 5. This only runs once, and if it's any other block besides my barrier block, it will, it just removes the barrier block. It does nothing otherwise. Ow. Okay, now I need to come up here, right? Because So if this is active, what am I doing here? On infusion tick. All right, so if this is active, run the barrier block. Oh, I see what I'm gonna have to do. I'm going to copy this out. I'm gonna get rid of this whole thing here. I don't need it. There we go. Because I can just come up here and then just run it off this anyways. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. And now I have to do this dot current attached runestone tier. I have to pipe that in. Oop. What is it? Transient? Nope. Event? Yes, right here. Player right click. I'm going to make sure we do that. I also have to put the check in here. This dot check for attached runestone blocks. I believe this wants world, right? So I could do this dot API dot world. It also needs the position, this dot POS. There we go. And then up here, we don't need this anymore. But I do need to run the code here as well. So I could just say this dot check for attached runestone blocks. I just realized this infusion tick, I want it to be in here. You know what? Actually, I just want it to be, if it's active, that's all I care about. I don't need to run that code if it's not active. So this would actually, I think, save some checks in the back end. There we go. Now I can pop that in. Okay, so our block modification should be done. Let's build and see. Oh, failed. Where did it fail? Oh, that's right. Transmutation's going to have to change as well. All right, that's not a problem because I can do this. I can do BE and then do a check, and then I can do BE dot current attached runestone tier. And then turn off. It's just going to be the runestone tier. But I will have to run this, which means I have to make this public so that transmutation can see the information. There we go. Oh, and we got one more. What's our other error? Can I convert from commons entity? Oh, entity position. So, okay, yeah, that's not a problem. So I just have to do this for the block position. Oop. Build. There we go. All right, let's run the game. So now the default is going to be 3x3 because I haven't done anything there. I haven't restricted it yet. But it will look for the block underneath, and if the block is more powerful underneath, it should. Yeah, look at that. Oh, and it's unstable, so if you remove it anyways, it solves the problem. What if I just, let's take out other things here. Boop, 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 boop. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pop that in. Whoops. So version 1. 3 by 3. That's exactly what I would expect. It just pushed it out. 5 by 5. That is indeed correct too. Oh, you know, I could just do it here, right? Because these are the walls anyways. Oh, it got me. I'm like, oh, I can't go any further. Got me. Got him. All right, pop that on. Oop. There we go. Ooh, look at that, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This needs to go higher, so I got that number wrong. Which means all of it's going to have to go higher. All of it's short. There we go. Little 1 by 1 nublet. That's it. So that's the only one that's correct. These other ones, like, right, this one, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. So this needs to be increased by 1. Which I could do right now. Let's move this over. We could do it live. Right, so run barrier. So instead of 3, this would have to be 4. So that would probably have to be 5. That would probably have to be 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I think these two have to be increased as well. I think it needs to be 2, 4, 6, 8. It's 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, let's see. We should see more blocks spawn. Boop, there we go. Yep, and we're good there, and we are good there. Perfect. Aha. And if you don't have anything, what does it do? I think it just does the 3 by 3. No, it just does 1. I'll be nice. I'm gonna give you one block high. So it's gonna be a 1 by 2. I could just also make it to where you can't turn this on unless it detects a block. Could do that. Maybe I'll do that instead. So, what is that? Transmutation, utility block. Now, this is just the block itself. I don't need any of this. I don't think. Yeah, I don't need any of that. So I can just close that right out. Here, I will need some stuff. I need to look at... Here we go. On player right click. If this is active, do this. Else. Yeah, see, all of this. I need to put in a quick if statement. I will say if I can say this dot attached here equals 0. Then return true. We could just stop it right there. So you can't even turn this thing on. Right, so we break that, pop it on. Nope, can't turn it on now. Cannot activate. We also need to put something in the tooltip so players know what you need to do. So, in the block info, I'm going to put something right here. I'm going to say if this equals 0, we will say status off no place a runestone block under this block to activate, right? So we still got status off. Let's move this down to here. I can get rid of that status off. Or better yet, I will make it a blank space for now. There we go. Status off. Place a runestone block under this block to activate. Or I could just say, like, missing runestone block. I could do... missing runestone block underneath. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a way to where, like, because there are some people that are not... English is not their first language, their native language. So I'm trying to word something in a way to where it's going to be the clearest. You know what I mean? Place a runestone block under this block to activate. Or I could say, cannot activate. And then missing runestone block underneath. There we go. Or I could say, place this block on top of a runestone block to use. There we go. Because I was just thinking about it. If you break the block underneath it, it's going to drop anyways because it's considered an unstable. So it doesn't make sense to tell you that. I could just say place this block on top of a runestone block to use. There we go. So status is still off. And let's place another one down. Interesting. So it's still saying this. Oh, because it's not doing the checks globally anymore. Ah, shoot. Okay, I know how to fix that. Yeah, on infusion tick. I could just cut this out and paste it in. There we go. Now it should update. There we go. Now it's just off. You know, I could make it to where the hover above the activate, we should probably hide that if you can't activate it. I just have to find where that is in this mess. I think it's a little higher up. Nope, nope. We just hit initialize. It's further down. Barrier block. Come on, where the heck is it? That's everything in transient. It's on right click. Is it inventory? Is this something in inventory? Maybe it is. On slot modified. No, it's not there either. Damn, where am I doing this again? Oh, wait, it's in block. That's right. It's not in block entity. Whoops. There we go. Ward block. This is it. Place block interaction help. Oh, man, I'm gonna have to do a search for the block entity. All right, so this is going to become a little more complex. I will have to do something like this. So block entity utility magic ward. That a manager, this would be world dot block accessor. Get block entity. For the position, it would just be this dot. Oh, I can't do that. I think I can get position from selection dot position. Because it sets it as a block entity. The position the player wants to place / break something at. We'll try this. We'll try this. I'm just going to say if BEO does not equal null. I'm going to put a print statement in here for now. RMR references dot logger. Because I'm not even sure if I'm getting the correct position. If it doesn't come back with a block entity, then I'm not getting the position correct. So I'm getting a bunch of hits right now. And it's only when I look at it. Okay. Yep. Perfect. What about if I touch this side? Yep. That's good. Okay, so that's doing exactly what I expect it to do. So I can cut all of this, paste it in. Now what I can say is if this is off and BEO.attached tier equals or does not equal 0. Perfect. Fireball it in. So we get nothing there, but if I hover over there, it says activate. But this, you cannot activate it. Sweet. I just thought of something else I can do. I have to find info again. Here we go, block info. So I'm going to do an if statement here. This, else. We're going to cut all of this. There we go. So I don't see the status as off anymore, but I will see it here. So I'm separating things out, which means I don't need this extra space. And I can now say, place this block. I'll say, incomplete. Place this block on top of a runestone block to use. There we go. That should be plenty. You know what? I can even make it red. let's make it red in color. And I should make this a localized key, so we'll do both at the same time. So I need to find the... Probably a little further down. You know what? I'm just gonna see if I can do it this way. I'm not gonna make a localized key for it yet. I have to go through anyways and make a lot of localized keys. Boop, 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 font. There we go. So it's nice and red. Boom. Incomplete. Maybe I should make status off. Maybe I should make the off red. The active green. I don't know. Maybe that's too many colors. I think it's fine the way it is. And it is transmutable. Oh, you know what? This is going to be incorrect. It's going to say transmutable. I don't care enough to fix it. I think it's fine. That's going to require significantly more work. Make it daytime. Perfect. All right, now I think what I did is I need to break up how I walk this this logic out, because I guarantee you it's not going to work the way I think it's going to work. So this, right? I'm going to get rid of all of this. Because see, it starts at a corner. Like, okay, so I guess I could show it off with this. Let's turn this off. Oop. So even though that was super tall, this actually will scale to fit. So if you have something like this, right, and you got your platform, you know, whatever this looks like. There we go. So this will actually go up to the first block it encounters, so it doesn't just keep going and look stupid weird. Right? So you could have something like this, and then you could be like, oh, let me fly up. Right? And then, bam. If I break this... There, I'll do something like that to catch it. It will automatically fill in... Oh, wait, no, I stopped the checks. Okay, it won't do that anymore. It used to, in the old way, it was very resource hungry, so I remember stopping that. But it used to shoot right back up, but then you'd have to shut the whole thing off if you wanted to modify it. So with this, if I put down the biggest thing I have... Yeah, see, I don't have any checks right now, so I have to put in checks. And what it's going to do is it's going to start here and then start reiterating, right? Going over and over. So as soon as it sees this, it's going to detect the block and then it's going to stop. And you'll have a gap right up here. So what I need to do is start checking from the bottom up, and that's one check. Bottom up, one check. And then I have to do that once through. To prevent that. That way it fills in the gap correctly. Or whatever the space is around it. Set one of those down with no floor to get up at the top for fall damage trap. I don't know what you mean. I'm not reading that right, I don't think. Fall damage trap. I was considering having this be invertible. and then have it to where, like, you know, it can. So let's see. Let me just make it here. The logic was kind of weird with it. Right, so I was gonna have it to where, like, if you notice there's something on the bottom, this right here would kind of shoot down. You know, maybe I misunderstood the elevator. Fall damage trap. I mean, there is a way you can use this for fall damage. And I'll show you right now. I think it still works. Oh, that's why they're turning on briefly, because they're considered on. So you could have something like this, right? And I can set it up to where, you know, I mean, it really doesn't matter. And I think I may want to make, like, eternal ones, where you don't need to power them. They're just, like, always on. I don't know if that would be too overpowered, though. Right, so you could do something like this, and then erase your blocks. Right? And then, let's say you fall from really high. You'll take no fall damage. It will catch you. So you could use these as, like, you know, safeties, right? And I think it actually works. Yeah, that's how I'm designing a lot of these things. If you're clever with it, you can do some unique things. You know what I mean? You just gotta like search a little bit, that's all. So with this, right, if I just... Actually, I should be just shutting these off here. There we go. So I think even just something right down to the bottom, right, to where there's at least one of those, Here we go. Even just one of them should work. They'll go really high, right? Something like this should do damage to me. GM 1. Nothing. It does catch you. So, yeah. So this right here is working the way I want it to. Like the elevator, the mana stream generators are pretty freaking cool. I like I said, I want to make a reverse, but the logic to iterate through the blocks, like I'm using block accessor to walk through. It's supposed to be more efficient, less overhead. But it doesn't seem to work with negatives too well. It still starts at the bottom and works its way up. And of course, it will start 40 feet down and see a block, right? Like a solid block, and then it won't generate any of the actual, I guess, elevator block itself. So I'm gonna have to manually kind of, you know, do checks starting from the top and working my way down the negative there. Like, iterate through it. What's the maximum height? Right now, it's 40 blocks high. So this... But this is before, right? So 40 blocks up. What I want to do, again, this will migrate to the new system. Like this system here, where you have to place it on top of a block. So what I would do is I'd have it be 15 blocks per, so this will end up being 60 blocks high. If you want to go full tier 4, you know, it's going to be super high. What do you do when you're 40 blocks high with nowhere to go? You just hover there. So I'll show you. This is exactly what you do. Go up. Oops. Right, so I'm just about there. Slash GM1. Whoops. Right, so you eventually get to the top, and you can't go any higher. You're just kind of hovering there. if you move left or right, you'll probably fall to your death. So you could just crouch and, you know, sneak and go back down. So that's what you do. Hover for over. Yeah. Yeah, you could sneak. You could sneak to go down. But, yeah, if you try to move left or right, it's a single beam. It used to be a 3x3, but it got kind of weird. I don't know, maybe it's not weird anymore. It used to be kind of weird. Give it a try. So this is what it used to be before I disabled it. You'd have your one block in the center, and it was just like a beam of light. You were able to like go and see. Yeah, it's still weird. There's like weird phantom collision boxes. So it's like right there, I'm trying to go over and I can't. So this is like the weird thing with it. See, I'm trying to just like move left or right, and it's like I'm kind of going all over the place. But I do think this looks cool. Now you add a detector at the top that turns it off. Nah, I'm not doing that. What part of I don't like griefing people are you not getting with our interactions? Right, Hexadin? I'm not a griefer. And it's not even that I don't like, you know, sure, it's kind of a dick thing to do, right? Just to be able to turn off the elevator, right? It's like jumping out the window. But yeah, you know, something like this, you don't really notice the you know, glitching there. But it seems like once it's 2 blocks higher above, like, see, I'm trying to go up, but it's like, it's being really weird. Like, I'm going, you know, like, I'm going straight, but I'm not, right? I'm going up every once in a while here. I figured people would complain about that, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make it one single beam. And then if it's jank, I'll be like, maybe don't put the elevators next to each other. That's unintended. And then I don't have to fix it. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But I do like the idea of having, like, something down as well. You know, that way you could put this on, like, a ceiling or something, and, you know, something like that, right? Have your block up top. Because I have this idea. I'm going to be adding a ritual that's going to create a floating island. It's going to be one of the terraforming rituals. So you'll be able to just get, like, a floating island chunk. So if you're, like, up in your mage tower, you know, you can have, like, an elevator both ways, right? I can have this elevator here. Oop. Let me just make a little makeshift tower. Well, ceiling, I should say. Whatever, we'll just do that, right? It's embedded in the ceiling. And yeah, we should have ample ceiling there. So bam. So you got one elevator going up, right? But then, you know, maybe over time that ran out of power and you're stuck in your tower. You'll be able to activate that one, and that would shoot an elevator going down so you can then go down. Either that, or I make the eternal block that, like, tier 4 mages can eventually get, to where you could just turn it on and off at will. Because I'm going to have, like, a forge and other things too, so I would like... They'd be really expensive, but, you know, at that point, you don't need something in reverse. Unless you're going spelunking or you're really high up and you just want an elevator to go down. You know, like, I don't know. It's a thought. I think having, like, an eternal one would be cool. You know, it would be... It's a nice reward, because I also want these blocks to be usable by low-level mages, too. Like, you should be a tier 1 mage, right, with the ward block, and you should at least have your tiny ward, right? You should at least get this little thing, right? I just made my first runestone block, and this is all I can do, right? And then your power just kind of increases, right? Until you're like, yeah, I put down one ward block and bam, you know, this is what I can do. And it can, you know, take the shape of my front castle thing. Magic barrier. Enemies and monsters can't get through. Projectiles can't. You can get a... Right, let's get a bow. And let's get some arrows. You know, and I'm thinking like PvP, right? You know, like... Normally, I'm like, I don't really care. I'm not doing anything for PvP. But I think it would be a neat, like, mechanic. Right? You can't get through. Right, so they're on the other side. They can't get through. And the funny thing is too, like with it being like this, you would be able to, like, you would have to like dig a trench or something, because people could try and shut off your block. You know, so I got to think of it that way too. Like for PvP, someone can just come up and be like, okay, sneak right click. I just shut off your barrier. You know, charge. And that's not breaking now. Weird. Oh, because of the grass. No. Stuck forever. See if I convert it. Interesting. I don't know why that's doing that. Unless I broke it already. I don't know how I did that. Let's reload. I wonder if that's if something desynced. Ugh, look at that chungus. Oh. So yeah, that's what it was. My client still saw it there as active. Alright. I'm going to rewrite this. Yeah, I get all those. This is what it does. I don't want it to do that. I want it to fill the space intelligently. So, I can actually do this live. You know what? We're going to save and quit because I know myself. I'm going to get caught up on something. And I'm going to delete it, and all the little things that I just built to test with are going to disappear, and I'm going to have to rebuild them. So, not today, Satan. Look at that mustache. Want a mustache ride? Sweet. Okay. I'm going to focus on this. These are going to be kind of borked. I got to rewrite it. So this is what we are focusing on. So I need to create logic that will... that will start at a corner and then shoot up until it meets resistance and then stops. So let's do that. There we go. So it's going to be in here. I'm going to have to do multiple block walking here. Multiple bits of it. So I probably should optimize my code a little bit. Because all I need is just the barrier block. And get rid of all of that. I'm trying to think how I want to do this. So I'm going to have multiple block positions for each tier. There's no good way that I can think of other than just kind of brute forcing this bad boy. All right. So I'm going to have a portal minimum and a portal maximum. Really, it should be called barrier minimum, barrier maximum. Really, it should be like barrier tier 1 minimum and maximum. Man, I'm gonna have to make a lot of variables here. All right, I'm gonna rewrite this whole thing. I don't need this. Delete that. So I'm going to migrate this code into looking at north, south, east, west orientation. And then with everything, I'm going to have more. So like I'll say barrier 1, barrier 2, barrier 3. Maybe this is going to be the best way to do it. 2 and 3. 2, 2, 3, 3. So this is going to change then, because at this point it's going to be -1, 0, 0. Ah, man, this just isn't that good. Shoot. You know what? Actually, this may not be that bad. I'm overthinking this. So I can do this, right? So it will go -1, 0, and then -1, 2. So it's going to make a straight line that's 3 blocks high. All right, so this one would be 0, 0. This would be 1, 1. Yes. Then we'll have something like this. So I'll have a 4, 4, 5, 5. And this will be -2, 4, 4, 4, 4, and 4. So -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Copy that. Make another 2, right? So that's 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7. So this would be -3, -2, -1. This would be 0, 2, and 3. And the heights here would be 6. Get rid of that, make some space. And finally, the last part. Oh shit. I messed up here. 6, 6, 7, 7. Paste it 2 more times, so this would be 8, 8, 9, 9. This would be -4, 3, 2, whoops, 1, 0. This is going to be the hardest part of this whole thing. And I'm just about done with it. There we go. 888. Let's make some space. Oh, I'm gonna have to do the other orientation. All right, you know what? It's a pain, but I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm going to finish the rest of the code. Because really, all I need to do at this point is cut this out. And we're going to come right up top here. So with this, it's going to be basically barrier 1. I'm just breaking out that one bit of code. All right. Barrier 1 mix, Barry, B-A-R-R-I, barrier 1 min, barrier 1 max. Got my delegate there. I'm going to be searching for this. I could probably make this a method. I think that would save time if I just make it its own method. So I could say protected, because I'm not sure if I'm ever going to need to extend this. Void. And I'll just say run. Whatever. It'll just be run for now. I'll say run block accessor, or run block access for barrier. Perfect. So we are going to need a block position, a minimum block position. We're going to need a block position for the max. And I believe that's all I'm going to have to put in. And then I can just pop max here, min here. Pop, I can do this dot one position, and then just put in this. Here we go. So this would be 2, this would be 3, and then I can mark this block dirty for the update. Copy paste, paste it a couple times, right? Because then this would be 4, 4, 5, 5. Oop. Let's kind of start formatting this correctly. Paste, paste, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be 6, 6, 7, 7. Get rid of that. Paste, paste. So 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9. I want to mark this block dirty. Boop. Perfect. So that should do everything that I need. It should dynamically start checking each pillar. Excellent. Now I need to copy all of this. And I need to convert it to the other orientation now. Which I believe just means that this number swaps with this one. All right, so this would be -1, -1, 0, 0, 1, 1. And then this becomes all zeros. And that tier 1's converted. So again, -2, -2, -1, -1, 0, 0. Okay, and then 1, 1, 2, and 2. And then these are all zeroed. There we go. So that one's done. 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, 2, and -3. 0, 0. So actually, it's not going to do what I want it to yet. I'm going to have to put in one more check in the method that's running the block accessor, because I'm going to have to put a bool in there on the start of each run. And then once it gets to its first block, I need it to stop the process and kick itself out of the block accessor. Okay, so for this one, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, that's 2, that's 3, that is 4. Neat thing you can do, I gotta use this more often. You can hold Shift and Alt, and then you can just kind of go up like this. That way I can just do a mass delete and then 0. I can also do the same thing here. So I just do delete, delete, and then 0. Something that I notice a lot of people, like, I gotta use it more often, but a lot of people don't know you can do that. It helps when you gotta make massive changes like what I'm doing. ViesCraft, right? Yeah, it creates multiple cursors for you. Now I can delete this old stuff. There we go. Boop. So in here, I'm gonna have to do some magic. Move this over here so I can reference it. All right, so right in here, I'm gonna want to do a keep going. Then in here, I'm gonna want to put in a couple additional checks. And do something like this. So I need to do a check initially that says if it's air or if it's tall grass, and you are allowed to keep going, then replace the barrier. If this is false, right? Like, sure, you could keep going, but it's not tall grass or air, then I'm going to shut off the, the search. And then it will stop generating those blocks. Save. I'm not sure if it's going to... Yeah, we're going to have to shut down and go back in. Quit. There we go. Put on some other music. Let's go back to Sonic. There we go. Alright, so far this hasn't done anything. Break that. Yeah, see, that's where the new zone is. Weird. Let's clean this up. There we go. Oh, this one. Boop. All right, so I come over here. Let's get the ward block. Place it down. Let me fix this ground. There we go. Let's make it daytime. That is not looking good, huh? It's very patchy. Damn, and it started all the way over here? Really? Really? Is it really gonna do that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, 3 and 3. So that's 7, 8. So we should have another one here off to the side. And this is actually quite patchy. So let's take a look at the code. I obviously screwed some things up. Oh, and let's check the orientation as well. So let's put down this, whoops, this, and boom. So the wall should be going in the other direction. It indeed does. Oh, you know what? It ran into itself here. That's why. I gotta do a check for a ward block. I gotta make sure that it ignores the fact that there's a ward block. I need to put another... I think I know what's going on here. Bet it goes in the same format. Yep. So this row is failing because it sees a ward block first. And then it just stopped. So let's fix that part first. And let me just double check these as well. 2 to 2. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, I think that's fine. All right, let's come down to here. So keep going equals true. So if this block, okay, so if this keep going and block is block barrier, right? So I'm gonna have to do an invert here because I want to make sure that it is not a block barrier. Let's fireball that. Let's shut it off, turn it back on. Nope, still borked. Oh wait, magic ward, that's what I wanted. Block utility magic ward RM. Kind of weird how I'm... All right, you know, I think this will work. Because it's like I'm referencing itself. It just kind of reads weird to me. I don't know why. There we go. So that fixed that issue. What about here? Why is it kind of patchy? Like this seems to work fine. Oh, shoot. You know what it is? Is it the negatives? Is that what's getting me? This is the kind of thing that I saw, because technically I think this would be the negative bits here. It was similar to why I couldn't go negative up and down. Very interesting. Ba-dum-bum. Boop-boop-boop-boop. All right, let me take a look at things here. I'll start with north-south. So barrier 1, I got to think about this positioning. So it would be at 0, so it stays at the block and then just goes over 1. You know, let's not start with that. Let's start with the more complex one here. 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All min, all max. That should be fine. Now for the first one, we reiterate through, it's going to be... We're getting the position, and then adding a copy. Creates a copy of this block position and offsets it by the given x, y, z. Which should be -4, 0, right? And then -4 to 8. Whoa, wait, oh no, that should be right. -4 to 8. That works. I'm not sure why it's not working. Because this should be, unless I can't use add copy. What else do we have? Let's see. Subtracts a position. No, that's not what I want. Subcopy though. Subtracts a position. You'll have the Manhattan distance. Because we have adds a copy of this position and offsets it by the given x, y, and z. There's just regular copy, creates a copy of this block position. I think I would want copy add. Offsets the position by given x, y, z. Wait, so why would I want to create a copy of the block position? Should I just do copy? Or just add, I mean? What if I just change this to add? For that last, I'll do the last couple here. Oh, whoops. So -4, this should be -3. -2, -1. What the heck was I doing? All right, let's put copy back in. I totally messed those up. Oh, man. Wait, was Sarah? Hold on. Text message. I thought she was coming in. Did you get 1.18? That's why this, first of all, that's why this is so borked. Because it was also in conflict over here. I wonder if it was erasing things. Here we go. Let's fireball that in. There we go. This should go away because that was way outside of the scope. That should not happen. There we go. Now it's a full-fledged barrier. Let's double check. Looking good. If I turn it off, the whole thing goes away. If I turn it on again, whoops, there we go. There, it fills the space. Let's double check that it fills the space. We are going to... do something like this. For the test, I will do that too. So we should see a hole here and a hole here, but it should fill the rest of this up all the way to that tip. That's what she said. Yep. Hole, hole, all the way up. And then everything else is normal. Good. So the new ward block is indeed working a lot better. I don't know what's... oh, this is off. Oh, but it's not... yeah, this was way outside of the range, I think. Yeah, I gotta change that too. But This is working beautifully. See, and you'll still have those holes, right? Because your barrier was already formed. To reform it, you'd have to, like, you know, shut it off and, you know, turn it back on, and then it will fill the gaps again. Awesome. So this is working well. I'm going to have to test the others. I'm just going to look at the numbers here. Okay, everything else looks pretty darn good. It's 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Everything else looks like it should generate correctly. For barrier removal, where is it? Boom, this right here. So this is why it didn't do it. I need this to be 8. Because I'm just going to remove, like, the maximum size. And then 4 and 4. That's better. There we go. So it removed all of that stuff. Now if I turn this back on, yep, we got our whole block. Now for removal, perfect. Let's test this size. Looks good. If I remove it, yep, got rid of it all. Bam. Looks good. Remove it. Awesome. That looks good. Now I have to do this all with the orientation shifted. Go to the multiplayer. I'm about to start playing. Go to the multiplayer button, click browse servers, and click the checkbox for protected password and search for Magus. What is my server called again? We're gonna log out fast. Magus Carnifex. All right, let's hop back in here. I gotta check the other thing, but I think this is the way I'm gonna do it. The elevator block is going to look a little different, maybe. I may end up making the model like a thin thing like this. Thin. All right. Bam. Oops. Bam. 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 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so this should be a 3x3, and yes it is. Turn it off and it goes away. This should be a 5x5. Yep. Turn it off and it gets rid of it. This should be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Turn it off And it's gone. This one is going to be a 9x9. Boop. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Excellent. And if I turn that off, shuts the whole thing right off. Bam. Oh, and look at that. That one converted. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, and it should take the shape. You know what I want to do? I want to work on this next. Because now that I know I can do a sub copy, right? Because I can do this. Let's put a test in here. So I will here just put a block here. Get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to be testing with this elevator. So it came up to here and stopped, and it did not go any further. Let's pull up the elevator block and get this done. I think it'd be really cool to do it this way. On block remove. Nope. Here we go. Run barrier block placement. So instead of add, it should be sub copy, right? No, it shouldn't be that. What if I just try the add copy again? Let's just see what it looks like. Oh, I gotta top keep going. Okay, so this is all the bottom. I'm gonna have to save and quit. Or what? I think Freya's getting on the server, so I don't have much time. I'm gonna be able to do one more build. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back to this. Downloading the mods. Great. Yeah, see, it's not gonna go down. If I shut it off and turn it back on. My rusty dust, there it is. So deactivated, right? Disappears. Activated. It does not go down. Oh, Freya's in. Freya Moon! I need to add to the whitelist here. No such command exists. Because I think I want to go to a whitelist server instead of a password. Oops. Whoops. Oh, I can't tab complete. Freya Moon. I thought I could just do that. /help TP. Wow, really? What is all of this stuff here? All right, TP source to target. Where source, S for self, E for all entities, P for all players. Okay, so that's pretty cool that you can put it in a bracket. But what if I do like yeah, right, /TP Freya Moon FREYJA. Oh, that's where my mistake was. Here we go. I'll just say teleported you to me. All right. And it looks like no one's really watching right now. I'll probably hop off here. I want to talk and get things set up. Yeah, so I mean we're making progress. The next thing I'm going to do, I want to try and get the elevator working a little better. And then I'm going to, for the next utility block after that's going to be the Mana Forge, which is going to use, of course, mana as a, as a way to heat up irons and stuff. It's going to be a forge with, you can use with magic. I still have the mana generator, right? The mana battery generator, which will convert mana into mechanical power. Yeah, and there's plenty of other things to do as well. Any suggestions on the on utility blocks is definitely welcome. And let's find someone to raid. Hey! A mage! It's amazing. With that little bit of cringe, I am going to slip out of here. Let's look at Vintage Story. See who we got playing. Oh, we got a lot of people. A lot of people. You know what? I think it's just Hexadin here right now. Hexadin, I'm probably not going to raid anyone. it's only you, my friend. So, thank you, Hexadin, for watching. If anyone else popped in, is lurking, thank you for watching. Next stream, I don't know. I'll either be playing this or we'll be doing something. Severed Skulls, you just got here. We were working on utility blocks. I made the magic ward better. And I'm going to be working on the mana stream generator as well and making that better. But yeah, all right, thanks everyone.